PS4 is back on top. Agent 47 gets a movie in. Can Diggle be John Stewart? You'll find out on Loading Snacks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loading Snacks. It's your boy Gage. Everybody should keep their loading snacks in the Spider-Man goblet. That's real talk. M&M's with peanuts. Choice of the day. Let's talk a little bit about what happened this week. So, I'm going to put that down for you for a second because it's kind of necessary. Look. So the PS4 is back on top. Meaning that even though there wasn't actual NPD data released to say what consoles did what. I'm not sure why that is. Sony did announce that the PS4 did outsell the Xbox One in the month of January. So congratulations to the PS4 for getting back to where you were. Microsoft, you got some work to do. Maybe that's why they dropped that price again down to $350. We'll see how that affects them going through February. On the PS4 note, PlayStation note I should say, some other news that came out is that PlayStation Network or PSN sub-accounts can now be changed to master accounts. If you're not aware of what that really means, you sign up for a PlayStation Network account and you're under an adult age, you have to get what's called a sub-account, where you don't have control over certain aspects of your account, which isn't necessarily that big a deal, except for the fact that when you do become an adult, you were not able to migrate that account from a sub-account or a child account to an adult account, where you could have control over certain things. So this is really, really good news, because now if you started gaming on PlayStation Network when you were 11, 14, what have you, and now you're 18 and you want to have your own account and you want to have control over it and use your own credit card and those kinds of things, you can keep your same account that you used to have when you were younger, keep the same name, keep all your trophies, all that kind of good stuff, and all the other stuff you downloaded. You don't have to go and create a new account and lose all your previous progress, which is what you would have had to do in the past. So hopefully this means that Sony is closer and closer to letting people change their PSN names, which is the other super duper huge thing that they need to make happen. There was a new trailer released, Agent 47, so a new Hitman movie. I'm not so sure. It doesn't look like it'll be bad. The last Hitman movie was to say the least, to say the most. It was So while I think it's cool that there is a new movie coming out, we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. The trailer didn't necessarily make me feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta go see this. Didn't do that. But again, it's nice to see. I think that as a video game franchise, Hitman is probably one of the strongest ones that can very easily be turned into a great movie franchise, and people don't necessarily need to know that it came from a video game. So I think that's pretty cool. That's a little bit exciting to me. In Agent Carter news, over the last couple of episodes of Agent Carter, which is coming to a close quite soon, we have seen the development of what is the Black Widow program. So the program that in Russia that develops young girls into lethal killing machines, hence where Black Widow, as you know and love her, a member of the Avengers, fighting side by side Captain America, and you hear all the stories about all the things she did and her feeling like she was going straight when she joined S.H.I.E.L.D. and those kinds of things. This is the program that she came up in. I think it's a great kind of additive twist that I don't think anybody saw coming, but I love the idea of kind of getting some of the origins of that story, that there's so much they could do with that, and they've introduced new characters that come from that space. I think it just leaves the door wide open for them to introduce more characters, possibly someone who could play a potential combatant for Black Widow in the future. So I think that's pretty cool. Agent Carter is shaping up really, really well. I'm excited to see where it ends, how it leads back into S.H.I.E.L.D., and then, of course, how S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to lead us into Age of Ultron. On some sad news, Black Dynamite got canceled. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Black Dynamite was absolutely hilarious. It was a great show. Perfect kind of show for Adult Swim. Worked well. A lot like the movie, which, has its cult following, and you would hope that that following would kind of stay and keep it alive. I am hoping that there is some more to this, that maybe the fact that it's no longer going to be something that's on Cartoon Network won't keep it from being something that exists. When we're seeing things happen like Netflix saying, hey, we're working on a Zelda TV show, the kind of stuff that Netflix has been doing, the kind of stuff they've been doing with Marvel, even, you know, what Hulu's been doing, Amazon's been doing, there are networks out there that I think would pick this up. And I think this is actually the kind of show that would be perfect to get 10 to 13 episodes already made, and it just drops and you can binge watch it day one, like I'm gonna do Daredevil when Daredevil comes out. Hopefully this isn't the end of Black Dynamite as we know it. I mean, obviously there's still a comic book, but at least in animated form, and maybe even, you know, in another movie form, but I'd certainly like to see it live on and continue. If that is the case, and it is truly over, it will absolutely be missed. And lastly, there's been some internet swirl about John Diggle, who is, I don't really want to call him a sidekick, because he's really much more than a sidekick to Arrow on the Arrow TV show. But there has been talk of him possibly being John Stewart. John Stewart being the Green Lantern. Not to be confused with Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. John Stewart is the black man who is the Green Lantern. He was chosen by the Guardians, the same people who picked Hal Jordan, to more or less be a fill-in. They felt that he was the right choice. When they need to, say, send Hal Jordan off on some galactic adventure or mission or something like that, it's his job to take up the mantle as the Green Lantern. There were some reports and some interviews where the gentleman who plays, you know, Dingle was reported as saying, yeah, it looks like there is some talk. Hopefully he didn't get in trouble for doing that, but it looks like there is some talk about the possibility of him actually becoming that character. And, you know, the internet speculation is, of course, that because he does have the military background, which is what John Stewart has, he has the military background, not too different from Hal Jordan. Overall, Dingle fits the profile pretty well. Personally, I don't think he fits the build really well, but I'm not sure that that matters. And considering that the Arrow universe, or what I'm going to start calling the DC television universe, is going to be something that is separate from the DC cinematic universe, there's still room for him to be Green Lantern, and you could still possibly have Tyrese or someone else still be John Stewart, or you could have Hal Jordan as Green Lantern in the movies, which is the direction I would think DC is more likely to go. Is I think that they would probably have Hal Jordan again, as far as their cinematic universe would be concerned. With that said, there is some talk about it being a little scary, the idea of them really pushing someone who's so metahuman into this universe. But when you've already seen what they're doing with The Flash, which is doing really well, when you know that Supergirl's coming to CBS, that certainly has to be kind of a push, although, you know, it could be more akin to what was done with Smallville. I think that the viewing public is ready for it. So, that being the case, I think it could be a really good move. And with that said, that's it for this week. It's a wrap. Loading snacks. We'll be back. Follow us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. You can catch me on Twitter at Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ. Please like, share, and subscribe. Drop us some comments. Let us know what you think about the news that dropped this week. And with that, we out. Chew on that.